Hey, welcome to Crazy Gamer Models. How's it going? All right, hopefully this is working. Oh, Love Minis is here. Hey, how you doing? Um, let's see if it is actually live. I can pull it up on my channel. Okay, there we go. I got the chat. The worst part is trying to get the chat. Okay, Love Minis. Hey, how's it going? All right, we're gonna do basically some Takom stuff, mostly this whole video. We're gonna talk about the King Tiger a little bit more, and then I'm gonna attempt to hack up some painting. And hopefully, get some tips from you guys on what I'm doing wrong. John, how's it going? So here we go. All right, here's what we got so far on Takom model, because it is a pain in the butt. It's driving me up the wall. Let me show you what we got going on here. This is the kit I'm building. Sorry about the glare. It is Takom's King Tiger kit number 2047S. I have a video going through the sprues, and that's the first part of the build review. There's another part of the build review coming up on Friday where I go through the instructions. And then these live streams are basically me doing the build review, but there'll be a follow-up video summing everything up. Following this will be like two more talking about the build review and the construction of this. So this is the kit. And just basically doing these live streams. Here's where we're at. Here we go. We got I got the torsion bars and suspension arms in. There's a lot of play in the torsion bars. So what I had to do is I had to place them in there and not glue them, and then add the extra thin to it, place it on a flat surface, and then I placed, my 1, 2, 3 blocks to weight it down like this to make sure it will sit level. So that's basically how I did that. So I love a 1, 2, 3 block. I got ones without holes in them, which are fantastic. I didn't even know that was an option. I've always bought the ones with holes in it. All right. Now I have a video coming up that I got memory cards so I can actually do videos. Is the sound out? Okay. I don't know how the sound. Hey, JD Rose, how's it going? Let me just check the sound here. No, the sound seems to work on my end. Maybe try reloading the stream. Okay, Love says it sounds good. All right. So anyways, this is what we have on the build so far, and I have it all glued up straight. I did this early this morning, and it is locked in there. So that's where we are there, and I'll show you where we are in the instructions, because we are at the wheel stage. Did 11, and we did all of 8, 9, and 10 yesterday. So we have these sections here, 12, 13, and 14. Basically, these are the wheels. I didn't cut out A9 and A8. I can put those on later because I just want to show you basically how to quickly clean up the wheels, and I'm not going to clean them all up on camera. But right now I need a piece of photo etch here, and this is TP6. So I'm going to cut out this piece of photo etch, bend it up, and then we're going to move on. All right. So I've got my photo etch here. It is super bendy. And I need this piece right here. So I wonder, can I zoom in on a live stream? I don't know. Does that zoom in? Oh my God, it does zoom in on a live stream. Check that out. So not too bad. All right, I was going to cut this out real quick. So I'm going to use a number 15 Sworn and Morton scalpel blade. And what I do is I push it up to the fret. I cut it. And that's that piece. All right, just put the photo edge away. Egregiously bend it. All right, so we have this, and we have some little nibs on it. So I'll show you how I take care of that with Tamiya's. Where did I put my diamond file? Of course, I put the file in a bad spot. All right, so I have my, let me definitely zoom back out, sorry. All right, so I have my diamond file, and can't see my Opti visor, little goggles here, and now I can see it. I'll just take off the connection points. Normally I cut the connection points a little closer than I did on these, but I didn't have my optimizer on. I don't know why. Lazy, I guess. All right. I had Sarah when I came first, but I accidentally pressed the back button. When I came back, I lost it. Okay, seems like he's got it. Cool. We basically just fumbled around cutting a piece of photo etch out. All right. You know what? Hold on one second, guys. Let me, I didn't share this to Facebook here. I forgot. Let me just do that real quick. We got people in here. That's awesome. Just share this here. It's not coming up on the screen. All right. Well, this live stream really dogged down my computer. I don't really have a computer that's all super live streamy. Okay. All right, hopefully that worked. So, all right, I'm back. I forgot to do that. All right, so we have this piece of photo etch, and I'm going to take my photo etch pliers, and we're going to bend it. Now, if you look here on this piece of photo etch, which is going to be super hard to see, there's a line right here. This is actually an indented line. If I wanted to fold this back on top of itself, I would fold away from that line. But because I want 90 degrees, I'm going to have the line pointing at me, and I'm going to fold towards me. But as I said, if I wanted to fold it backwards on top of itself, so it's flat again, I would have the nut line towards me and I would fold away from the line. So I'm going to grab it with my Tamiya bending pliers. Bend it 90 degrees. So it looks like that. All right. Put it in its bin. And now that gets R45 glued onto that. I'll show you a quick tip for gluing. Put the sharp scalpel away. It could have ended bad. Okay, so I have this. I'm just going to hit it with a little nib on there. I'm going to hit it with the sanding stick. And then basically you take this in this position and take the piece of photo etch and glue it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that with a pair of cross-lock tweezers on the bottom here. Make sure it's lined up. See me lined up right there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bottle cap, get the dust out of it. These bottle caps are fantastic. A lot of people use Pringles lids. I use bottle caps because they're everywhere and we have tons of them. It's insane. And then I'm going to use, I'm not going to use that. No, someone else has my other glue. So I'm going to use the thick. I normally would use the thick. I would use something a little thinner. So I'm going to put my little glob right down there. And I'm going to take a... Now you can use a glue looper like this one from FlexiFile, and then you can, dab it on there and loop it on there, or you can use a super fine needle like this. Since this is so thick, I'm going to use the needle here. And I'm just going to glue this side and glue the top and not glue my tweezers to it. Very important. Do not glue your tweezers to it. And now because that's thick stuff, that's going to take about a minute to dry. Leave my needle off. Now, if you ever get a needle that's dirty or clogged up or one of your loopers, you just hit it with a lighter and burn off the glue. So that's very simple. And then you can save that. It'll stay wet for a while, or you can just throw it away. I just collect bottle caps and I use them for painting and all kinds of stuff like that. So while that dries, I want to get your guys' advice on some painting items. So I have these here. that I need to do some work on. Also this. So I need to do some work on these. So we'll come in a little bit to right there. Now. Oh, yeah, sorry, Vinny. Yeah, that was hard to see. My bad. All right. So this is what I brushed on from the Vallejo model color. This is the pale sand, and it's what I'm doing for my interior color. And then I'm doing I'm gonna do this German uniform for this canvas that covers this area that's still black. Now I have put 4 coats of this Vallejo model color on here, and you can still see the primer underneath. Now I probably shouldn't have used the black primer when I did this. So basically, here's how I would approach painting this. I would grab my thinner medium, shake that up, shake up my pale sand. Actually, I'm going to put down the green first. Oh, this stuff is like thick. All right, so as you can see, that paint is super thick. So I will thin it down with their thinner, and then I will get my cheapy mixing brush here, and I will mix it up. Now, what do you guys think of that for a paint consistency? How do you guys feel about that for paint consistency here? See what y'all think about that. Okay, yeah, your problem was with the primer color, since the target color is basically yellow. You really need. Yeah, I caught that after I did it. Okay, well, we're gonna see what this darker green looks like over this black. So, and I'm gonna use my new Winsor Newton Series 7 brush that we unboxed yesterday, because I want to see how one of these bad boys goes. Well, that does have a beautiful tip on it. Look at that. Nice looking tip. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, see, the green is definitely covering better than that white is. I think that was my issue, was that black primer. Okay, so that's basically one coat of the green. Let's do this one here. As you can see, I'm not the best painter in the world and never claimed to be. Okay, so this is my hardest part of building models. is painting it. I love building, kit bashing, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff with models. But I think if I was better, if I felt I was better at the painting, like I could figure it out, which I have spent years trying to figure out, and I don't think there's any kind of special magic or anything. Yeah, I put the brush in water. Yeah, I definitely wet it. Clean the yeah, I got the brush in the water. I got the brush toilet. You guys seen the brush toilet, right? I don't know. Did I cover the brush toilet in one of my videos? I'm gonna finish this up and then I'm gonna show you the brush toilet. Yeah, I definitely think that green's gonna be 2 coats and it's good. Guys, check out the brush toilet. This thing is awesome. Oh, apparently I talked about the brush toilet. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna show it again. Okay, clean my brush. Okay, got my brush clean. I'm gonna put the. Oh wait, I'm gonna use it again. Okay, now on this piece right here, I need to paint some black on this section here. So I'm gonna get, or not actual black, it's German gray that I spilt everywhere already once. So I will get another bottle cap, shake the paint. Yeah, these definitely need 2 balls in them. 2 ball bearings. Look how thick that paint is. I mean, it's awesome how thick it is. I think trying to spray it through an airbrush would take a lot of flow improver and a lot of thinner. I would actually hesitate to use or not hesitate, but I would use a airbrush medium to thin it down so you don't break up the pigment. I'll mix this up here. See, I do the dabbing on a paper towel if I'm painting a miniature, but or something tiny. I don't know how important that is on something big. Is that a thing you should do every single time? Is that like you dab it on the paper every time? Like, see, I got. Oh, let me get the paint there now. See, so I loaded up the brush and I dab it like that, and then I would come in here and do this little section here if I could see it. These are little details. Well, this brush is pretty nice. I will have to say my brushes I was using to paint with, painted about 4,000 points of Custodes in gold, and the metallic in the paint pretty much shredded all my brushes. So that was the brushes I was using. I figured I would get. They seem pretty nice. All right. Okay. So it helps the paint go on more uniform. Okay, so I'll do that every time then, no matter what. Yeah, I thought if you were just smearing it on like a big piece, you just go. All right, so let us try to do some of this white again, or this light sand creamy color. So I am so amazed on how thick some of this paint is, and then some of it's not too bad. Now when I put this brush in here to stir this paint, I fill it with water. I dip it in water, so it does get a brush full of water when I go to mix it. Just it's not just the thinner medium. Yeah, and if you paint the Custodes, it's basically you live with gold paint. I think I went through 3 pots of Retributor armor, and I base coated 90% of them with the can. So and it still took a lot of paint because definitely wasn't a big fan of the spray paint. Like I had to do a lot of touch up and repainting for the spray paint. So let's see here. See now this right here, this section right here, this covered very well in like 2 coats. But all this other stuff is just getting really bad coverage. You know, at the point now, I think this is definitely going to be the last coat of this I do because it's going to be buried in the tank and you're not really going to see it. So, and drop it. Get one of my wife's hairs on it. Yeah, I don't have a cat. I have a wife that gets hairs everywhere. It's awesome. I love my wife to death. Okay. You know, I have a wet palette. I have one of the Matterson ones. Matterson, the same exact one, John, you did on your review of hobby tools, more underrated hobby tools. I believe it was your second one. If you haven't seen that, you definitely guys should check that out on John's channel. Um, he does. Yeah, I have that one, and I did the whole parchment paper and things like that. And I painted Zombicide with the Army Painter paint. Pretty much the whole um, Black Plague and Green Horde I painted most everything. I got the Kickstarter on the Green Horde, so not all the abominations got painted, but and I used a wet palette and it was fine. It was fine on that, but I found when I was doing my Custodes or my Adeptus Mechanicus, it was either too runny or um, too wet or too dry, or I just I don't know. It just didn't seem to work very well. I still have it. I could probably break it out, try it again. But I don't paint very often. So it's like I don't know why I should use a wet palette if I'm not painting very much. I mean, I understand it with the minis, but doing like a tank and stuff, I just never could figure it out, to be honest with you. 'Cause, I mean, I've seen tons of videos, all these people doing great things, stuff staying wet on their wet palette for days, and I never had that experience. I mean, I did the distilled water, all that stuff, and it just never. It would stay wet, but the next day or even a few hours later, it would be the paints would be way too wet and way too runny to be used. And at that point, I didn't know what it does. Metal. No, I didn't do metal. No, I didn't do metal paints on the wet palette because that Retributor armor pretty much comes out of the pot paintable. I mean, I just added a little bit of thinner to the pot, and because I use so much of it, I just kind of use that out of the pot. So I never really put the metals on the wet palette. But I would do, like my leather colors and like like my blues. Specifically, I remember Wolf Gray from Army Painter. I would shake the paint up with the bearing in the paint, and I would put a dab on the wet palette, and I'd be painting for like an hour, and I would take a break for like 20 minutes. I'd come back, and the Wolf Gray paint all separated into two different colors. I don't understand why that would be. And that happened with a lot of my paints. I would get that separation. And that was the main reason. I mean, that was the other main reason why I quit using it is because, if I mix them in one of these little cups, I can throw it away. I just make what I need. Too much water on the wet palette. Oh, I just made the sponge wet. How much water are you supposed to use? Like water didn't come through the parchment paper. It was, but it was like the parchment paper was definitely damp, and there was no like you couldn't like water didn't slosh out, and you couldn't pour water out. I want to keep that brush in there. I don't know if I should. Probably shouldn't keep it in that container. I'm gonna get me one of those things to hang my brushes upside down, like you have, John. I'm really gonna get me one of those. I think it was pretty cool. Okay, so that is what I had to paint for today. That was basically what was on the agenda because Sunday is Panther Sunday, guys. I don't know if I'm going to do a live Panther Sunday or if I'm going to record it because I do have the memory cards now to record it. So I don't know. Might do it live because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I have the Berg Panther to talk about, the Panther A to talk about, and well, that's it on that. Oh, and the new Panther that just came out from Takom. So that cleaned up. So let's and now my airbrushing has gotten better. This is the top of the Berg Panther that I airbrushed with that Mission Model paints, and I had just applied. This has a satin finish on it from Vallejo because I'm going to do some pin washes and some oily stuff on it. So, if you all watched my Berg Panther series where I was just practicing with stuff, I did the back exhaust panel with some pin washes. I'm going to do basically the same thing and try to make it look good on a horizontal surface. So, time is it? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll step back. We'll jump back to the King Tiger for a little bit. And I might break that out, or I might do some more painting. Because I like that brush. I think a lot of it had to do with that crappy brush I was using. Okay. Also could have been the paint. Army painter is good, but it does separate easy. It needs to be shaken massively. Yeah, I used one of them hobby shakers. And I don't know, I shake the crap out of it. So I don't know. Love Mini says you fill your sponge compartment and let your sponge soak it up and pour the rest out. Yeah, that's about what I did. I mean, there was no sloshy water. Also, um, like the corners would dry up, and I would have to add more water to it. I use distilled water, like people have recommended me use. Now, here's a question for you that you might be able to answer. Somebody. This is my Berg Panther, as I just mentioned. Now, I have from MIG the the filter, the enamel filter. I think it's an oil filter, actually. I'm gonna grab it real quick. Oh, there it is. Now, I have this brown for dark yellow original filter. Now, is this an enamel paint? Or is this a... Yeah, it's enamel. So does the enamel go down and then the oil, or does the oil go down and then the enamel? I squeeze out extra medium out of the Army Painter paint first time and then shake and use. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, I don't really use, the only thing I use from Army Painter now are the shades because I still like their shading. So if anybody has any suggestion on the filter thing, should I do? Because I got a satin varnish on it now, and do I do this filter and then the oil paint rendering or oil weathering, or do I skip the filter and just do oil the whole way? I'm not sure about that. So if anybody wants to let me know on that, and that'll be on Panther. Never use enamel and oil. Okay. Well, that'll be that'll be something for Panther Sunday then. Let's move on to King Tiger here. So let me show you how I do my wheels, and I use a pretty cool tool from Trumpeter to do them. Okay, so I will glue 19 and 20 together. So there's 19 and 20. So I'll take 19 and 20 and they'll go together like that. But what I'll do is I'll line up the nubs. So all the cutoff points that I trimmed pretty close are lined up. And I'll glue that. What I'll do is, now that that's glued up, I will come in with okay, so I will come in and I have, this is a trumpeter sanding, I think they call it a sanding frame. Basically, it's some plastic on a sprue. You cut it off and make a handle, and you can double stick tape. This is a piece of Tamiya sanding sponge. It's the 400. And then I have also on one of their other ones, I have a 600. And then I have another 400, which I wish I would have made something different, but I'll fix it. So I'll clean these off a little bit on a piece of jean. So basically what I do is I come in here with like a medium from Squadron sanding sticks, or you can go as bold as a used coarse from Flexifile. And I just get, in a rounding motion here, just like so. It's rounding motion. Get the nubs off. And then I come in with the 400 and I smooth it out. And the nice sponge, hugs the round shape to it. There, and then I'll hit it with the 600. Some people don't like wheels. I don't mind it at all. I enjoy it. Just sit here and watch a YouTube video or put something on in the background and do my wheels. And now that is the 600 leaves a good enough finish for like the rubber. If you have rubber wheels, but these are steel wheels. So I normally I paint them the color, and I leave the edges primer black, and then I use the AK True Metal Steel on these. So then I would hit them with this 3M microfine sanding sponge, and it really preps the surface for that metal paint really nice. Also, if you use like Mr. Servicer 1500, um, I find that after the edge is done, I hit it with this microfine also, and it leaves a little smoother surface for the steel, the AK metal, true metal steel, to um, to stick to, and it leaves a nicer finish, and you can really polish it out. So, so that is the wheel method. I'm not going to do all those wheels. That would be crazy. Um, Now let's take a look at this section here, because we're going to work with that photo etch part that we glued up. Now that's nice and glued on there. There's that photo etch part. So, okay, hold on. The enamel filter usually goes on first. I used to change the overall tone of the model. Use a brown filter will make the dark yellow have a warmer hue. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. You don't have to use it though. Oils can be applied directly over the filter, no varnish needed. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Thank you, John. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to re-varnish it. The coat that's on there now is the Mission Models acrylic, and it is very, very flat. So I put the varnish over it because in the Facebook group I'm in, Will, he told me to put a varnish over it because it'll suck up the mineral spirits. I just dropped that photo etch part. I don't seem to find it. Well, we're going to get back to the photo etch another video because it is definitely missing. Okay. So that is basically it for the tiger because I was going to show the photo etch and I lost the part. So that's always exciting live on camera. Well, I think that is basically all that I had planned for today. I did plan on gluing that photo etch part, but I lost that. So this will be the last live stream this week. I'm debating on whether to do Panther Sunday live because I have some cool stuff to talk about from the Panther tank manual I've been reading, and then about their new kit. They just came out with a new Panther. Takom did. It's a Panther G. It has the infrared sights on it and the air defense armor. It's a brand new kit. It just came out. There's a look at the sprues already on the channel. I'm going to talk about that kit, and it looks pretty awesome. You don't have to. My last film was with Mission Model Paint. I didn't use it. Oh, well, that's cool. I'm definitely going to use that. Thank you, John. I'm definitely going to use that in the future then. Thank you, because I didn't know. I wanted to be careful because someone told me that they had issues with water taking off the Mission Models paint. But I spilled some water on mine all down this end before it was varnished, and I wiped it up, and it didn't even leave a stain or anything. I mean, the paint is still pretty good. It does look a little blotchy in areas, and that's because it had like 4 or 5 different kinds of paint on it, and I stripped it the best I could, and then I re-primered it with the Mission Models paint primer, and then I applied their earlier Dunkelgelb color on this because this is a D model. So, but that's good to know that I don't have to varnish it because I sprayed some varnish and then I had to strip and clean my airbrush. So I appreciate that a lot, John. Thank you. And I appreciate the other John. Wow, that's right. There's 2 Johns in here. Got confused there. Okay. So, first John, thank you for your help on the painting. Second John with the oils and the varnish. And Love Minis, thank you as always on your painting tips and, always supporting the channel. You guys should check out John Kessler's channel. I said your name right. Probably didn't. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. He's got some pretty cool stuff. Some solo play games up. He's doing something right now called Trip Lock. That's I don't know. I played a lot of solo games in my day, and I don't know. It looks pretty neat, but I don't know if I could do that. It's definitely a memory game. So, and he's doing a voting on what character he should play first. So, you guys should check that out. Thank you all for joining me today. You guys have a great and wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next stream. It'll probably be a little bit before the next one, but I will be doing them in the future, possibly Sunday for Panther Sunday. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.